Welcome back to our channel, where we delve into important topics that impact our lives. Today, we are shining a spotlight on a subject that has long been overlooked: women with ADHD. It's time to end the silence and start the conversation. Research tells us that ADHD affects women differently than men, and it's crucial that clinicians and society as a whole recognize and understand these gender differences. Join us as we explore the lived experiences of women with ADHD and discuss how we can bring about change. Disclaimer: this is an educational video prepared by physicians with the intention of understanding the complexities of health and diseases, and in no way intended to criticize or hurt any person, company, or segment of the community. The discussions in the video are backed by sound scientific evidence which can be referred to the literature for better understanding. The focus is on understanding health and diseases in a way that is helpful to patients, healthcare providers, and the common man, which often gets lost in translation in the current popular media culture. You see, for many years, mainstream research suggested that ADHD affected men and women equally. However, the stories and experiences of real women painted a different picture. Women with ADHD face unique challenges that go beyond the typical symptoms. Factors such as restrictive gender roles, fluctuating hormones, and a tendency towards self-doubt and self-harm add an extra layer to their struggles. Recent studies even show that men and women with ADHD have dramatically different long-term outcomes. It's time for us to acknowledge that gender differences play a significant role in life with attention deficit. So, how can we shift our model to include women? Historically, ADHD was primarily defined based on the behaviors of hyperactive boys, but this doesn't accurately capture the experiences of inattentive women. We need to move away from solely focusing on external behaviors and start considering the internalized sense of impairment that affects women's self-esteem and qualitative life management skills. Understanding the power of gender roles is essential when discussing ADHD in women. Many women feel compelled to conform to societal expectations, which can be incredibly challenging for those with ADHD. The demands for communication, organization, and choreography of executive functions can leave women feeling overwhelmed and unsupported. It's crucial to recognize how these gender roles can impact the lives of women with ADHD. We now understand that ADHD is not solely a male disorder. In fact, research shows that ADHD has a greater impact on women than men. Studies have found that women with ADHD are more likely to experience depression, anxiety, and even thoughts of self-harm. It's time we address these gender differences and provide support to ADHD women. Many women, and even their daughters, have experienced misdiagnoses and misunderstandings when it comes to ADHD. Instead of being recognized as having ADHD, they were labeled as flaky, spacey, or diagnosed with conditions like depression, anxiety, or bipolar disorder. The impact of limited diagnoses, difficult to manage symptoms, and a shortage of experts who specialize in treating females cannot be underestimated. Let's dive deeper into how hormones connect to ADHD symptoms. Hormonal fluctuations, such as those experienced during menstruation and menopause, can exacerbate ADHD symptoms in women. High levels of estrogen and progesterone following menstruation can improve cognitive functioning, while the drop in hormone levels during premenstrual phases can intensify ADHD symptoms. As women go through menopause, ADHD symptoms can further intensify, along with age-related cognitive changes. These hormonal factors need to be considered in the diagnosis and treatment of ADHD in women. ADHD is divided into 3 types with the following diagnostic criteria. Inattentive type includes persistent forgetfulness, lack of attention to detail, inability to complete tasks, everything from emptying the dishwasher to completing an email, and being easily sidetracked. Adults and girls are more likely to be diagnosed with inattentive type ADHD than boys. They present with a picture resembling depression and often end up with medications for the wrong condition. Hyperactive/impulsive type symptoms include often feeling restless and fidgety and can take the form of being overly talkative or being described as someone who is always in motion or likes to be constantly busy. Boys are more likely to be diagnosed as having H/I type. These unfortunate patients are often diagnosed as adjustment disorders, whereby there is a huge concern regarding gender identity, as they tend to show the characteristic symptoms expressed by males. Combined type can include both inattentive and hyperactive/impulsive traits and behaviors and can be mild to severe and must be apparent over a period of months or years. This is the more dangerous variety of ADHD, which is often misdiagnosed as a bipolar disorder, and the patient has to bear the lifelong stigma of the diagnosis. These people have a tendency towards self-harm primarily due to the inability to cope up with varying moods, which may be amplified if the patient is educated about the prognosis of bipolar disorder. Perfectionism is another aspect that affects many women with ADHD. They often rely on their intellect and early academic successes to compensate for their difficulties. However, the struggle to sustain attention can lead to self-doubt and questioning of their abilities. The relentless pursuit of perfection comes at a high cost, as it fuels anxiety and self-monitoring, creating an exhausting cycle that leaves women feeling demoralized and unable to show their true selves. Diagnosing ADHD in women can be challenging, especially if it wasn't recognized during childhood. Finding a doctor who specializes in diagnosing women can make a significant difference. Historically, a lack of understanding and research on ADHD in women has contributed to fewer diagnoses. However, as awareness grows, more women are recognizing their ADHD symptoms and seeking help. To make matters more complex, many women with ADHD also face comorbid conditions. Anxiety and mood disorders are frequently misdiagnosed as primary disorders, leading to a delayed ADHD diagnosis. These comorbid issues manifest in various ways, such as dysregulated eating patterns, higher BMI, personality disorders, and even experiences of trauma. It's crucial for clinicians to consider the full diagnostic picture and explore the possibility of underlying ADHD in women. The consequences of undiagnosed ADHD in women can be severe. As women's responsibilities increase, so does their psychological distress. They often neglect their own well-being, leading to chronic stress, sleep deficits, and inconsistent eating patterns. Undiagnosed women with ADHD may also rely on prescription medications or self-medicate with substances. It's time to address these issues as a public health crisis and offer support to those in need. But there is hope. Women with ADHD can take steps towards reclaiming their lives. It starts with seeking the right diagnosis. For women, it's essential to communicate your experiences to clinicians effectively. Don't hesitate to describe the relevant evidence-based issues and ask them to consider the possibility of underlying ADHD. Treating ADHD in women follows a similar approach to treating men. A combination of psychotherapy, medication, and lifestyle adjustments is recommended. Cognitive behavioral therapy is often used to help individuals work on specific behaviors and develop coping strategies. ADHD coaches can also be instrumental in identifying roadblocks and finding effective solutions. Lifestyle changes, such as diet adjustments, self-care practices, and exercise, can also contribute to managing ADHD symptoms. And to clinicians, we urge you to explore these evidence-based issues and shift from a behavior model to an impairment model. Consider the impact of hormonal mediation, the later appearance of symptoms, and the worsening impairments over time. By expanding our understanding and embracing these gender differences, we can provide better support and improve the lives of women with ADHD. Gender plays a role in how ADHD symptoms manifest and how treatment can be approached. Women with ADHD often exhibit subtler symptoms, and social expectations and interactions can add complexity to their experiences. It's essential for clinicians to understand these nuances and provide appropriate support and treatment for women with ADHD. Remember, we cannot change the way our brains are wired, but we can change the narrative surrounding ADHD in women. It's time for women to embrace their unique strengths and find environments where they can thrive. An ADHD diagnosis is not a label but an explanation, validating their experiences and allowing them to own their successes. That wraps up our discussion on ADHD in women. Remember, ADHD is not limited to a boys' club. It's time to break the stereotypes, increase awareness, and provide the support women with ADHD deserve. If you resonate with any of the symptoms we discussed today, don't hesitate to seek professional help. You are not alone, and there are resources available to help you thrive. Thank you for joining us today on this important journey of understanding and empowerment. We hope this discussion sheds light on the experiences of women with ADHD and encourages further research and support. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel to help spread awareness. Let's work together to ensure that no woman with ADHD suffers in silence. Until next time, take care.